Hi everybody, welcome to this my tutorial. Today I'm going to be doing another motion path tutorial. What I'm going to do is have a flying ship with wings, like we had a little bit of a look at this in class last week. And what I want to have is these wings are flapping with the body moving. So let's just make sure we get this right. So I've named all of my objects in the outliner. So Windows Outliner, you should know this by now if it's not there. And let's just clean this up. I'm going to delete history here. It's a bit frustrating. Okay, so I've got a body and I've got a bunch of wings. And these wings are going to be child objects of the body, so I'm going to drag them under there. Cool. All right, so I want these wings to be, continually flap while the object moves. Might line these up a little bit better. And if your center point is in the wrong spot, don't forget to use the D key to move the center point, so your pivot point, to where you need it to move from. So hold down D and move that to where it pivots. But all of these are pivoting right at the join, so that's exactly where I want that to pivot from. So if yours is not pivoting from the join, hold down D and move it to the join. Okay, awesome. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to animate these wings flapping. Okay, so I'm going to start on number 1, press S, and the second one, press S. Then I'm going to go to about frame 30, press S, press S. Actually, that's probably a little bit, 30 is probably a little bit early in the piece. I might delete that and go, but it's probably going to be a slower flap, I think. I'll put that at 60 frames. So S, then we'll go to frame 30, and I'm going to rotate them to the opposite position, press S, S. So now if I play that, so that's flapping, and that's just flapping once. And the second ones I'm going to do the exact same thing to, except I'm going to start them at frame 15, just so they've got a little bit of a, they start with a slight offset. And plus 60 would be 75, S, oops, wrong one, and S, and now right in the middle at 45, we'll rotate that down, press S, rotate that down, press S. Okay, cool. So now if we play this from the start, it should just flap once and finish. So we want this to rotate. We want this to repeat. So we're going to go into our animation editor like we always have been. Windows, animation editors, graph editor. We've been using this quite a bit, so this should be familiar to. I'm going to select all of these wings. And if you've got something that's got a bit more of a jumpy movement, you can change this around with the keys, tangents. So you can have linear tangents. We've covered this in another one. So this is just these nice round tangents mean nice soft movement, and that's sort of eases in and eases out, and that's what we really want for wings. I think we could tweak it, but not for this exercise. This is pretty straightforward. I'm going to go to curves and choose post infinity, and all this does is chooses what happens after the animation is finished. So by default it's at constant, so that means it just stays the same once the animation is finished. But we can have it cycle with offset, or oscillate. And these ones are all very good because they basically just, one of these three will repeat the movement. We can use cycle or oscillate for this one. If you had something like cycle with offset, that's going to continue to increase as you go. So for example, a spinning wheel, cycle with offset would be appropriate. So I think just cycle will be fine for this one. So I press play at the start, and now the wings are flapping. And I noticed that this first one doesn't start, and these two don't start until later, which is what I've told it that I want to do. So see how they don't move at this point up until frame 15. So what I can do is go into Windows, Animation Editors, Graph Editor, same place, exact same place we've been using. So this should be all familiar to you. Curves and then pre-infinity. So it's the same thing. And press play. Now I've got the flying wings. Awesome. So last thing I want to do is add this to the motion path like we did last week. I'm just doing this as a bit of a reminder from the previous exercise. So we're going to draw a path using a curve. Because this is a flying vehicle, I might move some of the points upwards. Control vertex along the y-axis. That's frustrating, isn't it? There we go. So it has a more three-dimensional movement than other ones we've done. Cool. Now, once again, I'm probably going to choose this in the wrong order, but what I need to do is choose my animation menu here, and that's going to change this up to here, so I can choose constrain. And what I do want to do is select my object and my spline, and I always get this the wrong way around. I can't remember which way is which. Constrain, motion path, and attach to motion path. Okay, cool. So as per last week, this is using the wrong axis. So if I play this, you can see it's moving sideways, whereas I want it to fly in a frontwards direction. So I'm going to change my motion path settings. So my front axis is Z, and this might be different for your object. So let's play that now. Cool. And they have a flying thing, whatever you call this, ship. Okay, once again, check out the other tutorials to have a look at the U value, to have a look at the banking. Actually, I'll just put on bank just because I like it. So it'll twist as it goes around the corner. That's really cool. All right, and that concludes this tutorial. Thank you very much.